Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a great weekend. I know I certainly have. Today, many of you can probably guess what we're going to be diving into, and that, of course, is the huge announcement delivered via SundaeSwap that they are going to mainnet on the 20th of January. We're going to be going into the announcement. This is huge, and it's something many of us have been waiting for because we understand what this is going to do for Cardano. It's a real step in the right direction. And remember, this is just one dApp of many to come. So we're going to be discussing that, getting into the announcement and some things surrounding it. We're also going to be talking about the congestion that looks likely to occur with SundaeSwap. This does not mean that the blockchain is broken. It just means it's working. You're just in a queue to get your transaction processed. And what I'll do is I'll do a little diagram at the end of the video, because some people aren't really that interested in it, on how a blockchain works and what congestion actually looks like. We're going to get into the price a little bit. Remember, we're starting to see value locked in the Cardano blockchain go up in terms of the DeFi space. This is without SundaeSwap, and this is actually the total value locked is 2.6 million. It should be higher because VY Finance's total value locked hasn't been added. This was from Pete over at Learning Crypto, or Learning Cardano, sorry. Great channel, very informative for those of you looking to learn about the Cardano blockchain. The name kind of gives that away. This was what the total value looked like with VY Finance involved, nearly $10 million. I think once SundaeSwap launches, we're going to see this go to 100 million plus. That's how big this is. This is one of the most anticipated and well followed in terms of a sort of retail audience DEX to come on the blockchain, and it's really going to drive the demand for ADA as people are going to be farming it, and we're going to get into that in the announcement. Are we embarking on that journey, that fifth wave that we spoke about, its potential? We did come lower than when we actually gave this Elliott wave theory, but the important thing is we didn't invalidate any structure by going on to put in a new low from a previous one. So very, very positive. Of course, we've seen the price react to the news from SundaeSwap. We did put this tweet out. We thought Cardano potentially on the 4-hourly time frame was forming a head and shoulders, a reverse head and shoulders that was looking likely to break to the upside. And since then, the draw has come to fruition. This isn't just going to be a straight up road, and we don't want it to be either. There's going to be stops and pullbacks along the way, but this is all a step in the right direction. And we're yet to see any kind of major FOMO, which in my opinion is coming for Cardano. So we've got a very bright future ahead of us, in my opinion. So let's dive straight into the announcement. This is from SundaeSwap. We retweeted it on my Twitter. Head over to @RealAllInCrypto. We do give daily updates. The moment we've all been waiting for has finally come. We're excited and proud to share that SundaeSwap and the ISO will be launching on the evening of Thursday, January the 20th. Check out the article below. So this is the article. Key dates to take away. The 20th of January, SundaeSwap will launch as a fully functional beta decentralized exchange. So beta just means that it's not the finished project, but it's usable. You can play and sort of test out or actually make transactions on the beta. The first round of ISO rewards, the initial stake pool offering rewards, will be calculated. ISO participants must delegate to ADA qualified ISO scoopers prior to January. And then they're going to start distributing the rewards. Yield farming, SundaeSwap rewards will begin also on the 20th of January. So the 25th is when actual SundaeSwap rewards are going to be given out. So this is hugely, this is extremely significant and is really, like I say, a step in the right direction. We're yet to see a lot of dApps roll out. This is really only the third to roll out, certainly in terms of DeFi Llama. And it's going to have a huge impact. This was Charles, of course, talking about it, saying congratulating the team. They've also noted that as we prepare for liftoff this week, it is inevitable there will be many scam attempts. You've got to be very vigilant in the crypto space, guys, because there's a lot of bad actors given its kind of unregulated nature. There's bad actors in every kind of a realm. But with crypto being online and often anonymous, there's a kind of added sense of security that you need to take. So this is absolutely huge. Now, I'll save the diagram of how blockchain works. The reason we're going to talk about congestion is because we're already seeing a lot of load being put on the Cardano network to the point where it's getting towards capacity. Now, this just means that transactions are going to start taking time. And I'll do a diagram on what actually causes congestion in a blockchain and that it's actually a totally normal thing. It's all based on parameters of design. So this is the next thing. This was huge, of course. This is the total value lock that's already gone to 2.6 trillion. I think it was 1.4. We've said that this is going to continue to grow. when we previously looked at it. It's now at 2.6, and this is without VY finance. This was a screenshot from Pete, who essentially had it at 9.7 million with VI5, and that's without, you know, any kind of a serious adoption or serious partaking in DeFi taking place. It's very insidery at the moment. We're yet to see the masses kind of get on board and using it. And I think one thing that's happening with Cardano is it's going to be huge for the masses in terms of using DeFi. A lot of people can't use Ethereum's DeFi or don't know how to use other DeFi protocols. With Cardano, I feel like they're making DeFi very easy and accessible to the average individual, which is fantastic. This was interesting. This is from Darren, Crypto Ireland. He's somebody that makes content on Twitter in regards to Cardano. Shows the price of A with the market cap of B. So this is Cardano's price currently, and this is it with the market cap of Ethereum. So if Cardano had the market cap of Ethereum of $400 billion, which in my opinion I actually think genuinely we're going to get to, it would have a $12 price. So I think this is coming in the future. For me, it's a matter of when, not if. I think this is the direction that Cardano is heading in, and we're still very early on that. And I think this is going to largely come as a result of us having a real robust ecosystem that we're yet to see, or starting to see now, get built out. Sunday Swap, like I say, is a real step in the right direction. So let's talk about the congestion. This is something that we are undoubtedly going to receive a lot of FUD for, but it's not really an issue and is kind of part of how blockchains work. So what I'll do is just a visual representation. So a blockchain basically is very simple at its core. It's just a chain that contains blocks, and within these blocks is where your transactions are stored. So whenever you send Cardano, it's a transaction that's put into the block. One block will have multiple transactions in it, and then it will be attached to a chain. So these are the previous blocks. I think for Cardano, it's about 5 seconds a block. I can't remember just how many transactions they can house. But essentially what happens is when those transactions get sent, this is the start of a new block. These occur every 5 seconds. So these would have been the previous, and your transactions get housed within there. Once it's reached its capacity for transactions, so every 5 seconds, the block gets sealed and added to the chain. And this is the whole concept of blockchain. This is where the data is stored. And this will go back to block number 1, essentially, to the Genesis block. So people can, theoretically, for example, Bitcoin, which has been here for 13 years, you could trace, there'd be a chronology of Bitcoin's history through the blocks. So what happens is if a block can only house so many transactions due to its size, is your transactions, these occur every 5 seconds, basically get left out and put in a queue for the next block that's yet to form. So you'll be in the next one. So if there's loads of people waiting, essentially it's just a queue for these transactions to get into a block and then get sealed, which is how the Cardano blockchain works with the proof of stake mechanism. For example, we, the ALLIN crypto pool, minted a block pretty much at the start of this epoch. We got the opportunity, and we get rewarded for doing that, to mint a block to actually seal this block and add it to the chain. So this is all that congestion means. It means you're going to be waiting. Because we can only handle a certain load, it just means the more people trying to do it. So if you reach 100% capacity, you then go into a queue for the next block, and that queue can add up. And this is why we see, for example, with Ethereum, the good thing, for example, with Ethereum, with their high, sometimes it can be very slow if the network's busy. This is the concept, and things, side chains, layer 2, stuff like that, get added to this to speed it up. Remember, we're still under development. The next era of Cardano is when we move into scaling. I hope that diagram summed it up somewhat. It was a little bit rough, but this is the basic concept of a blockchain, whether, it's definitely something you should learn. This is certainly how Bitcoin started. And it's very fascinating that when we talk about this being a technological advancement, or a technological revolution, in the same way that the internet and the PC realm were, that's literally what you're looking at here. Technology. This is a ledger technology, essentially, that is immutable and can serve as a real way to transact value from one another in a fair and robust manner, and to actually store it. So that's really all I have for you. I hope that's made sense. That's all congestion really means, and we are going to see it. When we start to get, if we're at sort of 92% capacity so far, that just means there's going to be a queue. which is totally fine, guys. It just means, certainly I saw it on JPJ store, that you potentially might have to wait a few seconds, minutes for your transaction to go through. It doesn't mean the blockchain's broken. You know, a blockchain continues now. It's almost like its own living entity, and every time a block's minted, it's kind of like a heartbeat that it has. And this doesn't stop. You know, there's no off switch. We've seen things like Solana go down. That can't happen theoretically on the Cardano blockchain. So that's really what I've got for you guys. This is absolutely huge. I hope this diagram, albeit rough, has summed things up. Always important to, you know, do your research on what you're investing in. I could probably guess that quite a few people wouldn't even know how blockchain works or what it is, and that are in the crypto space. So it's worth sort of educating yourselves on that. So I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Remember, you know, this is not going to be a straightforward journey. Yes, we've seen Cardano's price do well, but there is going to be pullbacks within that. And for me now, I do believe, given that dApps are turning on, this is going to be a one-directional thing for the majority, with pullbacks along the way. I'll be taking advantage of those pullbacks. I'd still like to accumulate some more Cardano to use within DeFi. For example, Sunday Swap with their yield farming. They are giving away extra Sunday Swap to those people with LP tokens, providing liquidity that they can stake and actually earn Sunday again. So there's going to be a lot of lucrative things coming up with this space, and I can't wait to take part on that journey with you. That's all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Catch you in the next one.